Good Sunday morning and welcome to another edition of Neon and Beyond. I'm your host, Andy Kaye. My guest this morning is Matthew Dovel. He is the president and founder of ISP. ISP is a 501c3 public charity. Donations and in-kind gifts are tax deductible. ISP focuses on providing support to those that are suicidal and for suicide survivors, awareness, prevention, training, pre-screening, and emergency post-suicide family support. Good morning. Welcome, Matthew.
Hello, Andy. Thanks for having me on the show again.
Always a pleasure to have you on. You know, this is the time, of course, the holidays, but, it's I don't know how happy this season is, but for a lot of people, it could be brutal because, the issues that are facing our culture, housing crisis, increased jobless claims, and fear of a deepening recession, a lot of these issues are leading to an increase in suicide rates.
Yes, that is absolutely correct. The problem is the CDC, which is national reporting of statistics in our country, is 3 years behind.
Really?
They don't have computers yet. I'm just kidding. They have computers. You got to realize, you got to have a sense of humor to do this job.
I imagine. Yeah.
The problem is that I'm out on the front lines every day, and I know that the suicide rate's going up. And I'm the town crier, basically, and I'm out telling people that, we're nationally at 90 to 100 a day, and suicides.
Yeah.
And it should be national news, but it's not, because it's not a topic that people want to talk about. And they think by not talking about it, it'll go away. But actually what it does is it causes it to increase.
That's, partially why, I wanted to have you on, particularly this time of year. It's, some people, don't want to talk about it. Some people are deeply depressed and don't want to talk about it. Some people are so depressed that others see it but don't really understand what that person or individual is going through with their depression and what it could lead to.
Right. And today, I want to be on the show not just to talk about what we're doing, but to give people solutions like what to look for. The two main reasons that people will contemplate suicide and hopefully not carry out that act. The other thing is what to do if you think someone's suicidal, how to be in control of your emotions. I mean, this is something that people are really not aware of, that you are in control of your emotions and you don't have to let situations dictate how you feel. You can be jobless, homeless, and still be happy. It's a state of mind, basically. And I'm going to talk about how to control that state of mind. And the other thing I wanted to talk about was this campaign that we're on right now to help assist families that empowers the listeners to get involved in what we're doing. I haven't even said it, so it can't be again. Our website is supportisp.org, and my number, 702-743-4340. You can call me. This show's been pre-recorded, but I'm available. That's another thing about, I'm the president of International Suicide Prevention. You can contact me anytime. I'm not somebody you have to go through 4 or 5 people to get to. I'm available. I give my number out to
your
people.
personal cell phone?
Yes. So people can call me if you're having a rough time, and it's completely anonymous. You don't have, unless you hang up on me, then I'm gonna get mad. But you can talk to me about anything. I'm not going to report you to the authorities or anything. And if you're just having a bad moment, you need to talk, give me a call. That's what I'm here for.
All right, but wait till after the show.
Right. Absolutely. So there's a lot of good information here you can learn from.
All right. Well, let's start. What to do if you think someone is suicidal?
Well,
you want to start with that?
Let's start with the two main reasons, because when you have family members or friends, co-workers, and they experience one of these two things, there's a good chance they could be suicidal, and they won't tell you, but there are indications they're suicidal, like they start giving away their personal belongings, they suddenly get happy after getting fired for 20 years. That's a good indication. Something's not right. They've got a solution, and it's probably not to get another job. So what we do is we tell people that when somebody loses their financial stability. It could be through a job loss, their 401k,
Foreclosure?
yeah, foreclosure, things like this. These things are keys to note that people could be suicidal or contemplating that this is an option. So when something, a crisis occurs, they need to be aware that there's a 48-hour window directly after an event, life-changing event. So it's finance and romance. That's all you need to know. So if something financially happens, disastrous, or relationship-wise, your significant other, leaves you, or they die, or a child dies, anything relationally in your life, if those things change in a drastic way, these are times where friends and family need to come and support this person. And 48-hour window is the key thing to remember. 48 hours, people need to process what's happened, and they're in basically a state of shock. And they need to process and start coming up with new solutions as to how to live their life, what else they want to do in their life, a new job, a new way to make money, whatever. So 48 hours, if they don't respond after 48 hours and they still are in this state of shock, then you need to seek professional assistance at that time, counseling or psychiatric or whatever. Something. You need to get them help. And what to do if someone's suicidal?
Yeah.
You need to just listen. You don't want to give them advice. You just want to be there so they can hear themselves talk. You can't catch suicide. So when somebody tells you, say, hey, how are you going to do it? What's your plan? What about the people left behind? What are you going to do with them? Let them talk the whole thing out, because they'll probably think afterwards, wow, that was a pretty crazy thought. I don't want to do that because that would hurt so-and-so, and it wouldn't make things better, let's put it that way. So you let them talk it out. Ways to get yourself and others out of a depression. This is probably the most important thing I'll talk about on the show. And again, you can get this information off our website at supportisp.org. And our organization's name is ISP, and that stands for International Suicide Prevention. We're based out of Las Vegas, Nevada. We help so many people every day that we're making a direct impact and difference on the lives of the citizens of this country and around the world. So get involved in what we're doing, and I'm going to tell you at the end of the show how you can be empowered to actually get involved and do some things that will change people's lives. I mean, we're out there at the crucial point of life and death for people, and it's a very important work that we're doing. Ways to get yourself or others out of a depression. First of all, we see everything in pictures. Everything. Before we do it. Everything we do is preceded by an image in our mind. We visualize everything in pictures in our brain, from putting the key into the door to going to the bathroom. I mean, we picture it all before we do it. So, therefore, we can change the pictures we're going to, like we have pictures of us being depressed. And it can be we actually physically change our posture when we're depressed. We slump over, our heads are down, we talk in a different voice. Just by changing the way you're sitting can change the way you feel. If you visualize yourself at a moment in your life when you got a big paycheck, or you got a hot date or something, think about how you were standing or sitting at that moment and recreate that, and you will change the way you feel. Your emotions are created through motion, so changing the way you're sitting and thinking will change the way you're feeling. It's pretty simple. I mean, it sounds simple, but it really is. I mean, Berkeley, they did a year study with manic depressants where all they did for 10 minutes a day was smile. And they were totally taken off of medication. They were declassified as manic depressants after a year, just through smile therapy. Yeah, they had to look in the mirror and smile at themselves. 10 minutes a day.
I imagine that was rather challenging.
It was. It was. They had to think about things that made them happy. That's another thing we do is we have people create a list of 45 things that make life worth living for them. Now this can be, you don't have to have 45 things. Don't stress about having 45 things. That's just the name of the list.
Okay.
If you have 3 things on your list, you're doing awesome.
Okay.
Especially if you're prone to depression. So think back in your life when you took a great vacation, or your first kiss, or the feel of a puppy dog, or ice cream, the way it tastes. Think about those things and put them on your list. It's personalized. It's very personalized. And you can do this for somebody else who's depressed as well. Like, you know somebody in your family, you know what they really like. And when you talk about those things, you could see them start getting enthusiastic and pepping up. And that's a way that you can help somebody as well. And things on their list you can get in their home. Like if they love flowers, bring them flowers. And if guys are listening out there, if your wife's depressed right now, bring home some flowers today. I mean, really, you can go to Trader Joe's or Walmart or whatever and get some flowers, bring them home. You'd be surprised how much happier your wife will be the rest of the day. I mean, really. It brings outdoors indoors. And the pictures of a vacation, have them around the house. And say, wow, that was a great vacation. You know, if you love the beach, get some sand and put that in a bowl or something. Make a little beach for yourself.
Really?
You know, on your desk. Hey, and just go there. Go there mentally. And when you're having a bad day, your boss has chewed you, just go to the beach. You know, you can go to anywhere you want to be, anywhere in the world at any given time. You don't have to be here at work. You can be in Maui. Just close your eyes and remember what it was like, you know, the smell, the taste, what was going on, who was there, everything. And instantly some dopamine will be released into your brain. Free narcotics here on the radio. It's in your brain already, you're just releasing it. Dopamine, remember that. That's free.
How can you be in control of your emotions and not allow situations to dictate the way you feel?
Again, when we see pictures in our brain, we sometimes get in a holding pattern, and that's why it's so crucial to have this list with you, things that make you happy. Every single person's had a good experience, at least one. I mean, even little kids that get beat, I mean, they have a good experience. I mean, they could say it's SpongeBob, whatever. I mean, you have to have this list, though, because when you're in a depressed state of mind and body, for some reason, these things elude you. You say, I can't remember a good memory to save my life at this point. So you pull out this list that you carry with you at all times, and you close your eyes. I don't care if you're sitting in jail. You can have a list. And you say, I'm not in jail right now. I'm on the beach in Maui. And it changes your state of mind. It's proven to work. I mean, I carry a list with me. I do. I have, the first date with my wife. That was a great experience. I remember it to this day. I can remember where we were at, what I was eating, everything. So, I mean, I can relive that moment. I have better moments now, believe it or not. So. I have a beautiful wife. I'm a very lucky guy. Again, if you're listening to this radio show, go to our website, supportisp.org. We have awesome sponsors, Lotus Broadcasting, which I'm on right now, one of their 4 stations. Actually, we're on all 4 stations. So if you want to get involved, go to our website, send me an email. If you're having a bad day at the end of the show, give me a call at 743-4340. I work with the Army, school districts around the country, Indian tribes, been up in Canada, been all over, been in Alaska, up working with the school districts up there, the Army, I work with them. We have great success. I mean, our rate of success is very high with those we help. I haven't lost anybody yet, so, I mean, that's pretty good. If they get referred to me, I usually can help them. Now, of course, if you have a mental illness, and you need to get psychiatric help. I mean, this is for people who are just having bad moments, basically. So these solutions will work for people.
Or a culmination of bad moments.
Yes.
And now here's the holiday,
Yes.
and this would be the breaking point.
Absolutely. Suicide. I speak from a point of experiential, where I attempted suicide at the age of 25, which was over 20 years ago. So I'm not just talking about knowledge, book knowledge. I talk from a point of, hey, I've actually stepped over the line and was not expected to be here the next day, and I am. So now I decided, that's not the best way to do and handle things. In fact, I've dedicated the last 21 years of my life to helping people choose a different way, and it's a very rewarding career and lifestyle that I've picked from that point on. And as you know from previous shows, I was on Good Morning America 2020 talking about that suicide attempt, and it was a very interesting experience, to say the least. And I wrote a book about it, and you can learn more about it by Googling my name. I'm not here to talk about that. I'm here to talk about our program that really no one is talking about. I've been doing this work for 21 years, and over that period of time, there's an area of suicide prevention that we are not even scratching the surface for, and it's the highest risk individuals, and those are people who lose somebody to suicide. They're survivors. It could be a best friend, it could be a significant other, it could be somebody else in the family. You lose them to suicide, and then what's not being published or talked about is very real, and it's very tragic. And that is that the suicide scenes are not cleaned up by any government agency or entity of any kind, and there is no public funding or financing for these people to get assistance. So you have 90 to 100 suicides a day. Now, out of that 90 to 100 suicides, 80% of them are being cleaned up by the family members. You have to let this sink in a little bit, because it's such a horrible thing that I'm really shocked at our country that we don't have assistance for these families, because this is a wife, a parent, or a child having to clean up a suicide scene of somebody that hours ago was a live, breathing human being. And it's appalling to me that this is happening. And you may ask, well, what about insurance? Well, insurance does cover this. If you have insurance, or if you have a low enough deductible, because a lot of people right now in economic times, they have a $2,500 deductible on their homeowner's insurance. And suicide scene cleanup is about $1,500. I mean, that's average. So if you don't have, usually people are committing suicide because of a financial problem.
Right, they're broke.
They're broke.
Yeah.
So the family's broke. So the situation is pretty desperate, and when you're left behind, you're basically, it's a very traumatic experience that there's a lot of guilt and shame involved in this, which is natural. And because no one really knows how to deal with it, because we don't talk about suicide in our culture. So what happens is the family is told, hey, you need to call this biohazardous company to clean up your scene. And they are left with, well, I don't want one more person to know about this, so I'll just do it. And those people that experience that are 75% more likely to commit suicide later on in life. 75%.
Wow.
That's high. I mean,
yeah.
Even if you have somebody in your family commit suicide and you don't clean it up, you're 7% more likely. But when you're 75, this is the huge group of people we're not talking about. It's the huge elephant in our country. We're not talking about it. Sitting in our living room, and we're just like, well, it's not there. Can you move it a little bit so I can see the TV? Yeah, you got. Like I said, I mean, I'm out there. I see some pretty strange and horrific things every day. So I mean, I have to laugh at least once a day, or I mean, I'm crying most of the time, so I got to be laughing at least a little bit. I got to balance this out a little.
Absolutely.
So, like I said, so I founded this organization to help these people. We're in a recession. I don't call it I call it a depression, because our funding is dried up. We get all our money from public and private financing. So basically, people who lose somebody donates money to us. Corporations like Walmart, Lotus Broadcasting, these places donate their services and goods to us so that we can continue the work we're doing. The problem is, if you got to realize how huge that number is. Say $1,500 per scene, and we're asked to assist in 40 a day. That's a huge number.
Oh man!
So we're like we can't do it. We don't have the money. We don't have resources. We don't have the money. So what we did was we put together this way that we can assist these families, and that is with the assistance of the public. We've made a kit that we can send. We have gift cards basically through Walmart, or we get the items through Walmart. We put the money on a volunteer's card around the country, and they, for $25, go out and buy these goods, bleach and things like that, that they go in and clean the house for the family for free. And so for $25, you can assist one family through our volunteers. We have a very stringent training program for people who do this work, because it's very traumatic and not everybody can do it. It's a very tough job, and these people are volunteering their time to do it, just like I do. If you look on our website, I'm in a biohazard suit. I'm certified in every kind of biohazard you can think of, from terrorism to nuclear waste. I mean, a company, National Crime Scene Cleaning, they donated an $8,000 course to me to get trained, because they know I've been doing this for 20 plus years, and they said, "Are you aware of the hazards?" And I go, "Yeah, I am aware of the hazards." They go, "You need to get certified." Because you got to realize no one should be cleaning up a suicide scene unless you're certified. My brother was in law enforcement. He got infected through a crime scene and died from it. And so I'm very passionate about the fact that you need to know what you're doing, because blood is very dangerous if not handled properly, and that a virus can live in dry blood for several weeks. So just because it's dry blood doesn't mean it's not still able to infect somebody. Like, you don't want the blood to be like a baby crawling around on the carpet, and you didn't clean the carpet correctly, and then the baby gets infected. I mean, there's so many different possibilities that you need to have this done professionally. I mean, it's a very important issue that we need to talk about. So imagine yourself, let me tell you a story, imagine yourself walking into your home, and somebody that you know has been depressed and hurting, and you walk in on a horrific suicide scene. It's hard for you to even comprehend. This is happening 90 to 100 times a day in our country, and somebody has to pick up the pieces. We don't want the families to have to do this. I know this is hard to even visualize that this is happening in the United States of America, but please take the time to even consider we're having 90 to 100 suicides a day in our country. I mean, just let that sink in. I mean, it's not going to go away by just forgetting about this. And we're here to help, but we need your help to continue what we're doing. So please go to our website, supportisp.org, and or call me at 743-4340, and I will be glad to add you to our list of awesome sponsors for this particular emergency post-suicide family support. We really want to make this holiday season less painful for those who are going to experience this tragedy. And for as little as $25, you can make a difference for one family. I mean, that's awesome. I mean, I just think that's great. So, how many families are you going to help today? That's the question. We have Lotus Broadcasting involved in this, Gary Pike Appraisal Company in Las Vegas, Nevada, Baycon Corporation in Massachusetts, the John Lavelle family, NLP Seminars Group International. These companies are all assisting in this process to make the holidays a little less painful and tragic. So please consider this organization, ISP, supportisp.org. My number is 743-4340. Andy, I want to thank you for having me on your show. I mean, you do an awesome work by having me on here and getting this message out, because it's a very important one. And most people, if you think about it, you know somebody who's killed themselves, and this is a way you can make that tragedy have a positive impact on others by making a donation in their name.
Thank you, Matthew. And once again, the organization ISP, supportisp.org, is a 501c3 public charity. Donations, in-kind gifts are tax deductible. ISP focuses on providing support to those that are suicidal and for suicide survivors, awareness, prevention, training, pre-screening, and emergency post-suicide family support. For as little as $25, you can personally help one family, and like I said, it is tax deductible. We've got a few minutes left here, Matthew, and I want to ask you, what are some of the things that you mentioned people need to have goals?
Oh, yes.
Feeling depressed and down.
You got to have a direction. You got to have a direction.
Yeah.
Usually people are depressed. There's a couple of things that I want to touch on real quick. One is that they're usually not sleeping or eating. So eating healthy is very important. You got to get some food into you. Get some fruit.
Fruit?
Got to have fruit.
Got to have fruit. Love it.
Got to have fruit. Try it every day. You know, have an apple, a pear, something. They sell them at Walmart. I'm not pushing Walmart, but they sell them there. So get some fruit. The other thing is have a goal list. Most people who are depressed do not have a direction in their life, and they're victims to their past. So what is start with a new life today. Get a goal list. I don't care if it's one or two things on your list. Have it for this week and get it done.
You know, we're thankful to be in the part of the country where there's a sunshine the majority part of the year. But it's important to at least get out of the house. You know,
absolutely.
Sunshine, but people are sitting in their house with their blinds.
Absolutely, because you need 15 minutes of sunshine on your skin, because your skin, what happens is it produces vitamin D. So if you're in your house and you're in a cocoon, you're not providing your body with the nutrients that the sun provides. And that builds strong muscles and bones, basically. Vitamin D adds to your skeletal system.
Okay.
So you need that. 15 minutes. I mean, it's not a big deal. Park at the end of Walmart and walk across the parking lot.
There you go.
Not pushing Walmart again, but
they have
park
big parking lots.
Yes, they have big parking lots. Walk across. I mean, it could take you 5 minutes each way, so there's your 10 minutes. I mean, you got to get 5 more somewhere. So
okay.
The next stop.
Sweep off the porch or go to another
That's
shopping
right.
center. There you go. Okay. All right. And once again, you go to ISP's website, supportisp.org. And if you know someone that could be suicidal, you're depressed yourself listening at home this morning, call Matthew, 702-743-4340. We'll take their call. This is his personal cell phone number. He is there to help and help you and help maybe somebody in your life. And remember, for $25, it's tax deductible. You can personally help a family. So how many families you want to help? That's the question. Today, you can help out whatever you want, whatever you can afford.
1,000.
1,000. Matthew says 1,000. Okay, 1,000. Whatever you can afford. It's all tax deductible. And remember, happiness is a choice, Matthew.
That's right. It is. It is.
Make that decision.
If you don't believe me, give me a call, and I'll tell you how it is.
That's right. I'm going to ask you if you had any fruit today. All right, Matthew Dovel. Thank you so much
Andy.
again. All right.
Thank you, Andy.
Happy holidays. That does it for this week's edition of Neon and Beyond. If you have any comments or questions, you can drop me a line, care of Andy@komp.com. And if you're a nonprofit organization, you want to get on Lotus Broadcasting's nonprofit website, just go to wearelv.com. WEARELV.com. I'm Andy Kaye. As always, thanks for listening.
KOMP, Las Vegas. Comp 92.3, the rock station.
What kind of a cut-rate production is this?
Rock you.
Good morning, fellow Floyd fanatics. And those just needing a nice little mellow way to wake up. It's time for the Floyd Fix. Heard exclusively on Comp 92.3, the rock station.